Welcome to the Fire Rescue Wellness Podcast Spotlight, where we revisit take-home messages and shine a light on previous FRW podcasts in 10 minutes or less. I'm Lex, AZ's right and left-hand woman, and I churn out these mini episodes for her. Let's go.
40 hours, of which attendees are going to remember 30 minutes to 4 hours worth. It can be effective, but not as a standalone.
And I think that that's one of the biggest mistakes we make within fire, especially everything is a 40-hour solution. If you want to go learn how to operate the fire engine, 40-hour class. If you want to learn how to extricate from automobiles, 40-hour class. If you want to learn how to design a health and wellness program and coach all the people and do all the testing and 40-hour class. And human performance and health and wellness is not a 40-hour solution. And so the message, in case you weren't listening super carefully, the message is there that peer fitness trainers can be fabulous force multipliers, but really to get them to the level they need to be, to the level your personnel deserve, there has to be a professional in place to supervise them.
Yeah, without a doubt. Without a doubt. I think they can be great as, like you said, I love the term force multiplier, an extension of a primary asset. But we see it too. The Army loves to do the same thing. I was just talking to somebody about, Army Marines. Everybody has their master courses, which are 1 to 2 to maximum of 3 weeks. There's no way you can generate a master within 3 weeks. And then beyond that, those folks come back and you're better candidates to actually lead the charge. You're going to be so overwhelmed with other tasks that they're probably not even going to be able to really, give the health wellness piece the time and effort it deserves, because they're probably also your best insert, job here. So for the military, that might also be your best breacher. It might also be your best, leader. Like there's so many competing tasks, competing demands, versus have somebody at the helm who lives and breathes health and performance, and all kind of roads go through them.
So one of the things that I wanted to make sure and hit with you today, you gave a talk at the Tactical Annual Training in August. You gave a talk to end all talks, and it was called When Your Crown Grows Thorns. And I'm going to let you tell the people about your talk, where it came from, and kind of what it meant to you, and then sort of the reverberations from it afterwards. Ready, set, go.
Where it came from, it was absolutely born out of my own ignorance. I would even go as far as to say like reckless, irresponsible ignorance. So both with myself and with the people I coached. So, during my time at group, for example, there were plenty of situations where like the hairs on my neck stood up when engaging with somebody, in terms of like, there's something here that they need that goes well beyond my scope of practice. But what I didn't have or know, or quite honestly care to take the time to do, was figure out how to best hand them off. Like, one, how to engage them in the moment in an effective way. Two, how do I hand them off to somebody who's truly an expert? And, these are around things like mental and emotional health. And it's definitely one of those terms that as soon as you say it in any weight room that I've pretty much been in recent years, which is a lot of coaches are instantly like turned off and standoffish. So, and I saw it not only with the people that we were coaching, I saw it with other folks in various staffs where I've worked. And then kind of the final breaking point was seeing it, but certainly choosing ignorance with regard to myself. And so, over the years, to give a short version, this escalated and got to a point where it was impossible to ignore, because it very, very greatly affected my own life. So what I wanted to do was turn that, very weak period of my, recent adulthood, into a positive. And so wanted to kind of find some power, within that emptiness. And so what I started to do was get informed, certainly through some resources, in fact, that you had mentioned to me, but to try to figure out, like, one, how do I solve this for myself? How do I get comfortable engaging others who I see are experiencing something similar? So again, the whole thing was born out of, I guess, my inability to step into my own shit, and also watching other people step into theirs and not lend a hand because I didn't think that it was my hand that they needed. So what I've come to realize is I'm exactly what they needed because I'm somebody that they trusted and that they had a relationship with. And it's that relationship that matters most. And so no matter how we engage with somebody who needs some sort of help, we're all equipped to provide it. It's just a matter of at what level with which we can appropriately do so. So the idea behind the talk, as well as the idea behind the course, is essentially that no matter where you stand in relationship to somebody, if you do have a relationship, then you also have a responsibility to help them. And it doesn't mean that I'm going to go buy a black leather couch and sit them down on one end of it and I sit down in the other and provide counseling. That's well beyond my scope of practice. But what it does mean is I need to know somebody that does have that black leather couch, and I need to have some sort of procedure in place to introduce whoever I have a relationship with who might be struggling to a more qualified asset. And that was, I guess probably hopefully emotionally, because it felt emotional, delivered with a Texas size belt buckle. But that was the idea behind it, is that we all have a responsibility, and it's time for us to accept that, welcome that, take it on, versus continue to ignorantly shun it like many of us have.